Hello, my Nubian beauties. Welcome back to the Dark Skin Clique. Y'all know who it is. I'm Akila Shea, back at it again with another video. And today I want to talk about this recent happening. A monoracial, dark-skinned, unambiguous black girl was recently cast as Juliet in Romeo and Juliet alongside Tom Holland, a well-known actor who played in Spider-Man and many other well-known films. And not only are people criticizing the fact that the character is race swapped, they're also saying that Francesca, the actress who plays Juliet, is just downright ugly and she's not pretty enough to play Juliet and she looks like a man, X, Y, and Z. And here's my opinion. I am definitely not a fan of race swapping myself. I think that it takes away from the authenticity of the original project. If one of my favorite characters of African descent, let's say Princess Tiana, was suddenly changed into a white woman or a mixed woman, I would definitely feel the same way these white people do. On the same token, I don't agree with the unnecessary bullying and scrutiny that Francesca has faced from users online. It's not her fault that, the producers or the casting directors chose her for the role. Which leads me to say, I think that a lot of this race swapping and forced diversity is actually a setup for many black women and black actresses. White media is not race swapping characters to do us a favor and to provide quote unquote more diversity. They're really just doing this to provoke outrage and controversy. Like whoever cast Francesca within this role, they knew the response they were going to get from the public. These producers, these writers, these casting directors, whoever they are, they're not stupid. They know the consumers that they're dealing with. African American people, we are not the majority here in the United States. This is a non-black majority, and non-black people want to see images of themselves on TV, which is fine. That's exactly why I preach we need our own media and we need to be in control of our own image. I'll say it again, African American women, we need to create our own platforms that uplift West African beauty, that uplift our image, and create a niche culture of that. Because I've came to the realization that white mainstream media is always going to make a mockery out of us. We are always going to be made the laughing stock. As I said previously, they knew the type of scrutiny that this girl was going to get. They knew she was going to get laughed at. They knew she was going to get dragged for her looks. They knew people were going to compare her to a man because that's what white media has historically done with our image. Their race baiting is sick. They love to see this. I'm telling you guys, this is like entertaining for them to watch a black woman get dragged. It's entertaining for them to always put a black woman at the subject of controversy. Nothing has changed. They do this race swapping shit because they're entertained by our abuse. I also hear people saying, oh, well, it's not that she's black. It's not about race. It's the fact that she's just not attractive. She's not a pretty girl. Then when you ask these same people to name examples of so-called black women that they do find pretty enough, they actually name mixed women who don't look black at all, like Tyla and Zendaya, which shows us that it actually is about race. They are only attracted to so-called black women when they're half white, which inherently makes this about race. And I am not saying this to say that it's wrong for people to be more attracted to European features or it's wrong for people to be more attracted to mixed race features. That's not my point. My point is the non-black majority does not find full black women attractive. Therefore, we need to stop the non-black media from using our image as race bait. And I know a lot of quote-unquote woke black women, they want the equal representation or whatever. But what they don't understand is that this diversity and inclusion quota is actually a joke. Why do we so desperately want to be included by a group of people who don't want to include us? You guys want to be represented by the same media who was once pushing out these ridiculous minstrel cartoons, painting their faces, looking like clowns to mock us. More than a century later, we're still dealing with the negative effects of this imagery, and this imagery, the tropes that are presented within this imagery are still being pushed today by non-black media. So my question is, why the heck do we want them representing us and being in control of our image? We should be controlling our image, not them. We should be the ones casting ourselves in roles, not them. And to all these white people saying that black women are only pretty when they're half white, they do not get the power to determine that. If anybody's going to determine what black beauty is, it should be us, black women. You white people are entitled to your opinion on that, but know your place. You don't get to decide what black beauty is. That's another issue. We've allowed them to determine the standard for our beauty for far too long, and we need to take that power back by taking control of our own image. Hell, they've been in control of our beauty promotion for so long until now you have other black women who have adopted their ideologies, and they're calling Francesca ugly and she shouldn't be representing black women. You guys, this is the everyday unambiguous black woman. And Francesca may not be a supermodel like Kadia Diop, but she's also not the ugly beast that the internet is trying to claim she is. I think that they intentionally chose the most unflattering pictures of her. For one, because they only put a few pictures out of her. There's only a few images of her that you can actually see. So I think they chose the most unflattering ones. They had her in the most unflattering outfits. And they had her in some unflattering hairstyles too. With the exception of this one. You know, I like afros. You guys know I love natural hair. I noticed on the pictures that she wasn't wearing any makeup either. And the public is so stupid because they were comparing her image, her makeupless image, to images of white women who were wearing makeup, which proves that this whole thing was a setup. I mean, the stylist could have done more with her because she does have beautiful features. The stylist could have done so much more, but they chose to make her look almost bummish because they wanted the response that they're getting right now, which is the hate and the dragging of black women. And again, there's probably going to be some idiots in this comment section saying, oh, it's not about race. She's just not attractive. She's just ugly. She's just average. It's not about race. Even if it were an ugly white woman, our response would still be the same. No, the hell it wouldn't. Because there's a lot of examples of average and below average white female leads that have not gotten this much hate. And I'm not going to bring them up because I'm not as petty as these people. I'm not going to bring up pictures of white women and roast them the way that they're roasting this black woman. And best believe if I did do that shit, all of these white trolls would be playing the reverse racism card. I heard some stupid shit on one of the exotical channels that us African American women, or just women of African descent, because I know not everyone who listens to this channel is American black, but according to them, we quote unquote bully people into finding us attractive. And I've said this before, I do not have an issue with people who respectfully prefer European features. I do not have an issue with people who respectfully prefer mixed race features. What I'm talking about is when they blatantly, unnecessarily put dirt on our name, unnecessarily drag us for filth, generalize us negatively. You guys know what I'm talking about. Let me not forget about the racist propaganda that is pushed out by both white media and black men who have contempt for us. So over here in the dark skin clique, we are not demanding that every man should want to marry a black woman. What we are standing up and saying is that we want the same societal respect that other races of women get. And before you trolls come in my comment section and say, well, y'all are ratchet, y'all are ghetto, y'all do have bad attitudes, y'all are masculine. I've said this before. Black women, women of African descent, we are not a monolith. Our skin tone, our facial features, our hair texture is not a predictor on whether or not an individual black woman is going to be a quality person. And that is what I'm trying to defeat. I am not trying to get every man to want to date a dark-skinned black woman. And this is relevant to the whole Romeo and Juliet situation because whenever we call out the blatant lack of respect that we have in the Western world, we get accused of trying to force people to like us, telling people they can't have a preference, and X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, no, we just don't want to be dragged 24/7. It's fine if you personally don't want to date a black person, but why do you have to bully our actresses? Why do you guys have to scream to the top of your lungs how ugly we are 24/7? It's psychological warfare. I know that there's going to be some people in the comment section accusing me of playing victim. I'm ready for the sneak disses that I'm going to get from other content creators, but I don't care. I told you guys in the past that I'm not going to stay silent on this colorism conversation because the people who are dragging us are still loud and proud. So if they can be as loud as they want to, I can be as loud as I want to. Anyways, y'all know who this is. I'm Akila Shay, and if you want more content like this, please subscribe to the Dark Skin Click, and I'll catch you in the next one.